Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, what did Wednesday night's game winner mean for LeBron's legacy? Plus, Skip explains why he thinks the Browns will take Baker Mayfield with the top pick. And can Russell Westbrook power the Thunder to an unlikely series comeback against the Jazz? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. LeBron James added a new chapter to his resume last night. First, he blocked Victor Oladipo's layup with under 5 seconds left. It looked like a goaltend, but nothing was called. Then moments later, LeBron hit the game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer. It was his 4th career winner in the playoffs. Take a listen to the King talk about the shot.
Yeah, as a kid, you always have those 3-2-1 moments, you know, when you're a kid and being able to have one of those moments. And that's what it kind of felt like. It just felt like I was a kid all over again, just you know, playing basketball in my house, and you know, I would, you know, makeshift hoops and, you know, my socks as a basketball, and you know, making the noise, you know, so that's what it felt like.
Shannon, what did last night mean for LeBron's legacy?
As a kid, I had those moments too, where I was gonna be on the show and I'd be able to bust somebody up.
Did you really?
On the reg, yeah, I was like, yeah. It's like, okay.
On the farm?
Yeah,
you're just
on growing
there?
up in South Georgia, say, yeah, I'm gonna have me a show. I'm gonna be on a show, and a red light gonna come on the camera, and that's gonna be my time to talk.
Really?
And I'll be able to bust somebody up on a regular basis.
Wait, you didn't need a red light to talk, you just talked.
Yeah,
right?
I was just talking about
every moment was your time to talk.
Like, you know what? That'd be so cool to be able to bust you up on the reg. This did nothing, because you know what? Everybody knows.
Nothing?
Everybody knows how great LeBron James is, and greatness rises to the occasion. But what haters will do, and I'm not saying...
You mean truth tellers or haters?
Haters.
Yeah.
Haters will say,
yeah,
this is only the first round. That's Indiana. Georgia's 6-0 in the finals. So what's the big deal? He's struggling. What?
Joy, did I write that down? Do you see?
I didn't. Hold on. I'm talking. You said it was my turn.
You keep trying to say what I'm going to say, and you damage your case because you bring up stuff I wasn't even going to bring up.
No, I'm saying people that know how great LeBron James is unfazed by this because they've seen him do it before. They saw Orlando, it happened. They saw 2 years ago, Chicago happened. They saw Indiana, it happened. We've seen him do, in the regular season, we just saw him, he did it to in Minnesota. So we've seen him make these plays before. We've seen him be extraordinary. So nothing changed.
Yeah.
But people will say, oh, it was all layups. Somebody said that earlier. I ain't calling no name. It's really none of my business.
You can call my name.
You said it? Oh.
It was a fact. I spoke a fact.
So.
You know, they're layups. You're going to count the layup against Indiana, the layup against Washington? You're going to count them? They're just layups. Little layups off the glass. They aren't even dunks. They're layups.
Ask Patrick Ewing about a layup. Ask Patrick Ewing about a layup, Skip. Game 7. Layup.
I thought we were talking about LeBron.
So you know what? It's just a little layup until somebody misses it.
Well, asked Sabonis about one last night. I couldn't believe he missed a layup that would have given him.
What about Kevin Love? He missed 2 of them. Yeah. What about Rodney Hood? Point blank.
We are talking about the king, the quote-unquote best player on the planet.
The mere fact, Skip, that he's averaging 41 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in the 3 wins, and they won those games by a grand total of 10 points, lets you know what he's up against. And he has to be extraordinary. See, he'll never have the luxury of doing like James Harden, going 2 for 18 and win by 20. Think about that, Skip. 44, 10 and 8, and he took a game-winning 3 to win a game. Let that sink in for just a second.
So is this topic about does LeBron have enough help? Was
No.
that what you ask? I didn't hear Joy ask that question.
She asked about his legacy.
We always get back to
it
he just doesn't have enough help.
Skip, for me, it did nothing for his legacy because I already knew how great he was.
Really?
Yeah, I knew it. So nothing changed in my eyes.
Here's what I know about LeBron James.
What you know?
He's been in the league for 15 years.
Yes.
Let's just start with the regular season. He's now played 1,143 regular season games.
Okay.
1,143 regular season games. I want the blind witnesses out there to open their eyes and their ears and let this go in their psyche. In all those games, he's hit 2 walk-off jump shots. These are higher degree of difficulty where you have to go Michael Jordan and make a jump shot like he did on the Utah Jazz at Utah. right? Remember that?
But that
Game
wasn't a
6?
walk-off
Yeah.
because Utah got a chance to get the ball in bounds, so that theoretically
I'm
wasn't a
counting
walk-off.
it
But go
because they
ahead.
just shot their heart out.
Okay.
Okay, so he's done it twice. He did it. I was watching the game. I watch every LeBron game. Back in 2009 on a Friday night, Ernestine and I are sitting there in New York City in our apartment watching this game. January 23rd, 2009, Ronny Turioff made, over Ronny Turioff, LeBron made a jump shot, a two-point jump shot. That's number one. This is in the regular season. And then you brought it up versus Minnesota. It was your basic catch and shoot, great long-distance pass from Kevin Love. Remember that?
Yeah.
And LeBron could just catch it and turn and shoot it over Jimmy Butler. And it was a two-point jump shot. So he has two-point jump shots that are walk-offs. I always give him one more against Golden State, at Golden State, 2014. It was the game before the All-Star game. And our show we had taken to New Orleans for the All-Star game. So I'm watching it in my hotel room on my computer that night, on my sling box, and LeBron made one, but they didn't give him. It was like the Jordan shot. Golden State got another shot, so it wasn't a walk-off. But I give him 3 in 1,143 regular season games. That's not a lot. Just 3. That's a lot of games with only 3 and technically only 2. Then let's go to the playoffs. So counting last night, 222 playoff games LeBron has played. That's a lot of playoff games. 222? And he's made 3, counting last night. 3 in 222? Wow. So he made the shot heard around the world against Orlando back in 2009.
Yeah.
And then, just for the record, that tied that series at 1 game to 1 game. It didn't win the series, obviously, because then they go down to Orlando and lose, then lose again, then they came home and won one.
See what you're doing?
In 6 games, they're eliminated.
See what you're doing?
But it
See what you're
didn't do
doing?
anything.
See what you're doing?
Okay, but he did make that one.
Yeah, but see what you're doing is that I told you, if you're in LeBron's camp, if you believe that LeBron is a great all-time generational great player, this did nothing. If you don't, you again, like you said, he hit a game winner, and what you said, all he did was make the series 1-1.
No, but he did make that one.
can't-
That was the shot. But if you could have, I don't know where you were in 2009. That's a long time ago. But
Did it
the
happen?
next day, it was on a Friday night, I believe, and on Saturday, it was on CNN, like CNN, and saying, this is the greatest athletic achievement in the history of the world. LeBron James made a walk-off.
No,
Remember,
stop
Mo
it,
Williams
Skip.
just inbounded to him, and it was a catch and shoot on Turgaloo,
Yeah.
who kind of backed off, and he just,
but see-
there was no decision to make. Do I drive?
See?
Do I have to shoot free throws? He just goes straight up and lets it fly. That's what he did against Jimmy Butler.
Normally, when people take a shot, they're not thinking about anything but getting the shot off. They're not thinking about what if I miss it.
Okay, do you know how many times LeBron has dribbled the ball up the floor? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm saying, just attack. They can't keep you from the glass.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Attack.
Hold on, Skip. You just criticized him. He was attacking last night, and then you say all of them are layups. Now, you
saying-
can't have it both ways.
Last second shooting.
Okay.
You're going to get fouled, and you're going to have to go stand there by yourself
Okay.
at the free throw line. And that brings me to the free throw stat, if you don't mind me throwing it out. All time, well, it's 15 years worth since he entered the league. We're talking about game-tying or go-ahead free throws in the final 5 seconds of fourth quarter or overtime. LeBron is 8 out of 14. That's not very good because that's just 57%. Okay. 8 out of 14. And of those who have taken 5 or more, he's at the bottom of the list. He's 8. There are 8 players who have taken 5 or more. If we just do a minimum of 3 or more attempts, the list gets a lot longer. It goes down to 37. LeBron ranks 29th out of 37. 8 out of 14. Well, that's not very clutch.
That's
okay?
my argument.
Okay,
that's why it did nothing for his legacy. Because you are where you are. You said it's in late game free throws.
So
you said it's the first round.
I think you're saying it can't save his legacy because it's not very good to begin with. I think that's what you just told me.
If you don't mind me asking, who have more game-winning shots in the playoffs, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
I don't know. It depends how you define it.
Define it any way you want to.
Yeah.
The most last-second game-winning shots in postseason basketball history between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Who has the most? Define it how you want to.
Who would you rather have had?
That's what I asked. See,
okay, be honest. Open your heart, your guts up. Just say, who would you rather have the ball in the last 5 seconds of a playoff game? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Who would you? Be honest.
I want LeBron.
Open up.
I want LeBron James because it's not.
You don't believe that?
Skip, I told you.
Don't believe it.
All you do is look at, did he make the shot? I'm looking at, did he make the right play? Skip, I don't get in the results. I'm a guy that the results will come. They won't always be, but I believe if we do the right things enough, good things will happen in the end. Like I said before, this is why, if this is where we are. LeBron James has, and what he's created is a lot like Donald Trump. You either here or you're here. You're not on the fence. He's forced you to take a side. Either you with him or you Team Jordan. That's the way it is. I'm sorry. And I don't mean, literally speaking that he and Trump are similar, but I'm talking about the support that they generate. Either you for him or you against him.
That is true.
And what you've tried to do, now we talk about his legacy. You come talk about free throws. We ain't talking about the game-winning shot, Joy. We ain't talking about averaging a triple-double.
But what if I told you again and again, LeBron is afraid to attack the I even tweeted it last night. He is the greatest driver of the basketball, attacker of the basketball, of the basket in the history of basketball.
Okay.
Nobody has ever been able to freight train the way he does.
Right.
Last night there were times when I'm saying, this is a joke. It's just a mismatch. Because Nate's just saying, I'll put a single defender on him, and if he scores because I don't want those other guys to beat him, right?
But here's the thing, Skip. And because he's driving to the basket and he's having to play through contact, that's more taxing than say Kevin Durant, the ball moving and Kevin Durant swishing.
I will give you that. But there were too many times that LeBron could have attacked the basket, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get fouled and have to go stand there by himself, and get a little nervous-handed and miss the. He has not been a great clutch free throw shooter.
But Jordan has missed free throws in the regular season, and they didn't win the game. So that's been done. But like I said before, you either here or you're here. There's no in-between, because you didn't mention anything about the triple-double, even though they lost. You didn't mention anything about the 4 MVPs. You didn't mention anything about the 2 MVPs in Miami, 2 in Cleveland. You went to an obsolete. You had to look long and hard. The man is averaging.
Obsolete?
Yeah, free throws.
It's not obsolete. It's a fact. I mean, nothing's obsolete. It happened. It's on his legacy. It's carved in stone.
So is those 6-game winners in the playoffs, which is
right,
one more than Michael Jordan.
Okay,
so is the most postseason points.
No.
And with the next steal, he's going to pass Scottie Pippen. So by the time he's done, he's going to have more.
What happened last year? Was it Game 3 at Cleveland when it could have been a series? And the Kings team is ahead by 4 with 1:30 left, and the King has the ball in his hands. He's dribbling out near the top of the circle. And I'm thinking, you can close this deal, can't you? You're up 4 on Golden State, and all of a sudden we're going to have a series, right?
But then,
what happened?
But then what you do? If he closed the series, that's what he's supposed to do. If he closed the series, that's nobody. He's been closing these last 3 games. Who closed the series? Oh, but that's Indiana. It's the first round. Because, see, because here's the thing. No matter what LeBron James does, this is what the argument will always be. So he might have 50,000 points. He could have 25,000 assists and 25,000 rebounds. Jordan was 6-0. So was
that a fact, or
am
I embellishing? Am I exaggerating?
How does that taint LeBron James' legacy? We talk about LeBron James.
Well, if you're going to compare it to Michael's, it's going to get tainted.
So finals is the only thing the way you measure a legacy. Am I correct?
6 with 6 MVPs in the finals? I'd say that's pretty hard to beat.
I'm just saying,
right?
Is that the only way to measure a legacy?
I'd say in the end that would be the #1 statistic to apply to a legacy. 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs.
Well, Joe Montana. That's the #1 quarterback of all time, because he's 4-0.
Well, you've been saying that already. You've already said that.
Because it's hard. You
already backtracked. A year ago, you said it was Tom Brady. Now you backtrack.
I just want to know one thing. How do you get better than 4-0 with no interceptions in the Super Bowl?
Okay, well, you're saying that, and
LeBron
that's
James.
A whole other argument for another topic.
Did you see what LeBron did last night? He didn't miss a free throw.
I agree. That was shocking.
He took 24 shots.
He's a 74% postseason.
He was 100 last night.
I know. It was rare. It was shocking. It was great. And they needed every last one.
Thank you. That's my point.
They did.
That's my point. Because if he'd have missed one, you say that free throw he missed cost him the game, and he's unclutched.
Yeah.
But guess what? Guess what you can't say?
What?
You can't say nothing. That's what you can't say. Nothing.
No mercy. Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. More Undisputed is on the way, but first, a quick word about Buffalo Wild Wings. There's a new boss in town at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he deals in bacon. It's the Bacon Boss Burger, featuring bacon 3 different ways and a blanket of white cheese sauce. And he's joined by other new favorites, like the smothered cheesesteak quesadilla, sweet chili shrimp, and Alaska Cod Classic. All pair perfectly with a Sam 76, a fruity ale with the crisp finish of a lager. Hurry in today and try them all before they're gone at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings Beer Sports. Available for a limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly. No mercy. Our next guest played 17 seasons in the NBA. He scored nearly 15,000 career points and is 12th all-time in assists in NBA history. Rod Strickland, welcome to Undisputed.
Welcome. Shannon Sharpe. This man was about as fast with a basketball in his hand as anybody I ever witnessed.
Well, he had some handles with the ball, too. Now, he was slick with it.
Yeah, I was slick. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Well, Rod, let's talk about LeBron. He hit the game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer last night to give the Cavs a 3-2 series lead against the Pacers. On the possession before that, he blocked Victor Oladipo's layup. It looked like a goaltend, but nothing was called. After the game, LeBron and Oladipo talked about that play. Let's take a listen.
I got a step on him. Felt like I even got grabbed on the way to the rim. I tried to shoot a layup. It hit the backboard. Then he blocked it. There's replays I guess you guys can see. I guess it's a tough play at the time for him, but it was a goaltend. I mean, it's hard to even speak on it. It just sucks, honestly. It really sucks. Even though we fought our way back, we tied the game up. That layup is huge.
I definitely thought it was a goaltend. Of course, I didn't think it was a goaltend, man. I'm trying to make plays like that all the time, and I mean, he made a heck of a move, got me leaning right, and he went left, and I just tried to use my recovery speed and, get back up there and make a play at the ball, and I was able to make a play.
Rod, what did you see on LeBron's block?
It was goaltending.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
it was goaltending. But in that situation, if I'm Oladipo, I'm trying to dunk that ball. I got
Even on 6'9" LeBron?
Well, he's behind me.
Yeah.
So my first reaction, I'm getting straight to that rim. And even if I'm not going to dunk it, I'm going to use that rim to shield me and probably use your left hand.
Would you try to dunk it with your left hand?
Well, if I'm Oladipo, depending, but if you're going to go in there, dunk it with right or left, but you got to go with that force. But I'm always, and that's experience, I know LeBron, he's coming, or he's lurking. It's a possibility. So if I have that ball, I'm going to look first. I'm going to see where I'm at and see who's around. But I'm attacking the rim. I got to attack the rim. I may show it right, finish left, dunk it, but I'm going straight to the rim. I think he tried to finesse it a little bit, and I think that was a little mistake, and that's experience.
So why didn't those three referees, any of them, blow that whistle?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Bang, bang.
That's
Could
a
it
great
be
question.
it's the king's house and they fear for their lives trying to get out of there? I don't know.
No.
It was a great play.
Great play?
We have the luxury of having replay and see it slow down to the 1,000th of a second.
I thought it was in real time.
But see, you thought it was.
Well,
would you have gone on record? Would you have gone and said that's goaltended? Because that's what you had
Time
to do.
out.
No, you're right. It is
Time out.
bang, bang.
Go look at my Twitter timeline and see what I immediately tweeted. That sure looked like a goaltend.
No, you can't say it looked like.
I don't
you
have.
got to say that's goaltended.
Okay, it's
That's
happening.
official.
It's happening so fast, and they're going to commercial break, so I don't have it.
Yeah, but
Okay, I don't get paid to be an NBA ref, and I wasn't on the scene. I'm watching from a distance on TV.
It's happening instantaneous. One of the greatest plays that ever happened on a push-off. You remember in the '98 finals?
Oh, yeah.
When one guy started going to the right, he stopped and pulled the guy. That's a push-off.
I remember. It was a push-off.
Okay.
It was subtle.
But I didn't know about
It was subtle.
I don't even know why I brought that up.
It wasn't even a push. It was just a little prod.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So in a situation like that, Skip, unless it's definitive, they're not going to make that call. And because they didn't make the call, now had they made the call, they could have gone to replay to look at it to make sure they got it right. But since they didn't make that call, you can't go look, oh, we're going to go check that out and see if it was a goal.
Shannon Sharpe, was it goaltending?
No!
Yes! Why did Joe Borgia, the vice president of replay and ref operations for the NBA, tell TNT last night, Ernie Johnson, it was definitely a goaltend? Why did he tell him that? Because it was a goaltend. Rod Strickland told you it was a goaltend. You need to accept the fact that Indiana got all-time robbed because Oladipo did something that I didn't expect him to do because I don't think LeBron expected him to do.
Did.
He twisted completely away because it's 6'4" versus 6'9", and he feels the presence looming, and he knows about LeBron's chase down blocks, and he turns completely away and shoots some weird reverse right hand. but he shielded LeBron enough with his body that he actually got the ball up to the backboard. I don't think it touched glass. I think it touched rubber along the bottom of the backboard. But once it touches, that's it. You cannot block that shot. That's a goaltend by the letter of the law.
Right, if you don't mind me asking, the play before on the turnover, Thad Young knocked the ball out of bounds before LeBron touched it in it.
Right.
So that should have been, by the rule of the law, that should have, by the rule of law, by the rule of the NBA official handbook, that should have been the Cavaliers' ball.
I don't know. It was close. It was hard to judge. It was a bang-bang play.
Oh, it's bang. Now you like bang, bang.
But like you said, it's bang play.
Yeah.
So it's hard to make that call. You know, that's a tough call for the
That
referee.
ball might have bounced on the inline, and it might not have.
Yeah, but see, and that's the
But
thing.
then LeBron couldn't keep his balance, and he knocked the ball out of bounds.
But I think Oladipo, you know, the onus was on him to get to that rim. And I think he was
All right,
supposed
I'll
to
buy
make,
that.
And I love Oladipo. He's been playing great. But you can't let the refs make that call. You got to go in there and dunk it. You have to find a way. And it's tough because it was a goaltender.
And by the way, if we could see Oladipo go down the lane again, he did make the point that LeBron reached in and did hold him a little bit. Again, if we could just see it one more time, he brought it up, so I'm going to bring it up because it happened. LeBron reaches in with his right hand on Oladipo's drive. He reached right in there, and he just impeded him.
That's what I'm about to say. That's part of the game.
Okay, all right, so that's part of the game. So now we go to the last second shot, and it was a great shot. LeBron's monumental blunder got canceled by a monumental, maybe season-saving shot that he made.
The block.
But who freed him up? Kyle Korver sets a pick that doesn't really catch Thaddeus Young directly. He's not right in his path. So Kyle Korver has to lean over and sort of shiver him, you know, just push him and shove. And Thaddeus Young lost his balance and almost went down to his knees on the floor and lost a step, and LeBron got free thanks to what I thought was an offensive foul by Kyle Korver. Would you call it in the first quarter? Yes, you would.
Right, play through contact.
Play through contact.
Thank you. Thank you.
At the end of the game, I think you got to let the players. You can't reach out and
push somebody down
Stop
in
it,
basketball.
Skip.
Maybe you can in football.
You make it seem
you
like,
got too much NFL in your brain.
You make it seem like they're in the fourth grade and they're on the playground and the guy shoved the guy down with two hands. It didn't happen.
Was it a key movement in the game? Yes,
No,
it was.
it was
yes,
not.
It was. It freed him up. Look, Thaddeus Young trips and goes down for a second.
Because he already knew. He didn't want to get in that frame. But too late. Gotcha. That's one thing about it. But look at Depot. That's what you got. That's on your resume. That's never coming off your resume, Victor Oladipo. Andre Iguodala. That's never coming off your resume. Thad Young. That's there.
It's never coming off LeBron's legacy that he got away with near murder. That's
Don't
what that
do that,
was.
Skip.
It was an all-time robbery.
Right, you heard that right.
Am I right?
No.
Yes.
No, it was not. So are we just going to gloss over that 44-10 and 8? Rod, what you think about that, Rod?
No, it's big time. I mean, I think LeBron now is trying to keep adding to his resume.
Yeah, he's trying to build those stats.
Build
we
those
get
stats,
it.
chase that black cat. MJ, Michael Jordan, and Kobe and those guys.
Yeah.
But hold on.
There's really just one guy.
Think about this. Rod, you know they only have one guy on Cavaliers other than LeBron averaging double figures. Yeah. That's Kevin Love with 11. Yeah. LeBron is 35, 11, and 7. And they got two guys. So it's taking these stats in order for them to win. If he would have think about this, Skip. Like I said, in 2014 when he first went back, and they was in the NBA Finals and they lost in 6 games to the Golden State Warriors, LeBron was 36, 13, and 9, and they lost in 6. If he's averaging 36, 13, and 9 in this series, they'd have got swept in 4 games. The 3 wins, he's 41, 11, and 7.
So what has Nate McMillan game planned LeBron with? A single defender every time down the floor. He is saying, go ahead, shoot layups. Last night, he must have shot a dozen layups. I'm talking about layups off the glass.
Yeah.
Not dunks, just, oh, thank you very much. Oh, nobody's going to stop me. I'll just lay it in.
Punish him.
Yeah. Okay, layups. So he makes 2 shots outside the paint, and the last one was the last one, right?
Yeah.
That was a 3-point bomb. And other than that, that was the only 3-pointer he made the whole night,
well,
right?
when they didn't double Jerry, what happened? He put 150, 200. If you're not going to, it's not my fault, Skip. If you think you got one man that can cover me one-on-one, okay, put him down on the block and let's see.
You've been complaining about JR did nothing, Kevin Love did nothing. But guess what they're doing?
JR has 0 points. That's nothing, right?
But what is Nate McMillan telling his troops? He's saying, just stay with your man. Just stay. We got one guy on LeBron, and let him have it. Let him have it.
At some point in time, they're going to have to change their game plan because LeBron has been doing it. And you know, I think this whole season,
okay, but think about
everybody thought about.
But think about this. Indiana wins game 1 in a blowout. So the plan worked. And now we've had 4 straight games that have gone to the wire. Now, Indiana's lost 2 of those 4, but 4 straight have gone to the wire with that game plan. So Nate, if he's sitting here right now, would say it's working.
No.
Yeah, but let me say this, though. It is working because they're in the game and they go back to Indiana. So they're definitely in it. But I think at the end of the day, we know LeBron is the guy.
Sure.
And so I think at some point in time, you may have to make one of those guys make a shot.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Skip. In the first game, he had 24 points. In the next game, he had 44. In the next game, he had 36. In this game, he had 44. So
it was a layup drill.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you can beat him if he only gets 24 and nobody else does anything. But what happens when he gets 46? What happens when he gets 44? Then what are you going to do?
Okay, but it should have been 97-95 Indiana with 3 seconds left.
Well,
that's pretty good,
well, we should have had the ball anyway. We should have got the ball because Thad Young knocked the ball out of bounds. So we should have, by right, we should have got the ball back with a chance to go up by 2 or 3, which I think we'd have been up by 3.
But to Skip's point, you know, Indiana's been in the game, and now you go back to Indiana, you can bring it back to Cleveland. So, I mean, they're in it, but I think they may have to, if LeBron is playing as well, I think you probably bet on that. Hopefully he can't do this for 7 games.
Yeah, but we know he can.
At this point, he's doing it.
We know he can.
So, Shannon, how do you feel about the fact that the 2 starting guards for the Indiana Pacers, Oladipo and Collison, they combined last night to go 3 for 20. Victor Oladipo shot 2 for 15. He shot 1 for 7 from 3. And Collison scored 4 points and he scored 12 points. And you still hung in this game and had a real shot at winning it?
Well, you have a real shot. If JR goes 0 for 8, Kevin Love goes 2 for 11, and so that would make them 2 of 19. And they scored 11 points. So theoretically, Collison and Oladipo scored more points than Kevin Love and JR.
Okay, but wait a second. Who is Indiana's best player?
Victor Oladipo.
He went 2 for 15, and they almost won the game. Who is Cleveland's best player? Oh, it's that guy, LeBron. Oh. We scored 44, and it's still...
And Oladipo's been the difference.
Yeah,
I mean, the games that they win, he's played great.
Right.
And the games that they lost, he struggled a little bit. So
and
he's the key factor.
But what, Skip, you going to tell me, is Sabonis going to give you another 22 off the bench?
22?
Yeah, he's going to give you another 22 off the bench. You counting on that?
Well, is Kyle Korver going to give you another 19? And
Fourth Korver going to do what he do. He got 5 more in him.
He makes 5 out of 9
He got 5 more on
It felt like it was 7 to 7 to me. Every time he went up, it was just like clean as a whistle.
Ooh, what?
It's so fast. He gets rid of it so fast. He just goes up like it's a free throw.
Yeah.
Right?
That net was sneezing. Net was sneezing.
Unless it's the finals, of course.
Hey, just LeBron said, get me back there again, Kyle. I'll pass it to you again.
Oh, really?
The King is getting it done. He's getting it done.
Getting it done.
Barely.
He's getting it done.
Barely.
3-2. 3-2.
Can you tell me the degree of difficulty when you how frustrating is it? You going off and you just need somebody to come along with you and you know.
Shannon, tell Rod the bet that you made with me yesterday. You said it was going to be a blowout, and you gave me the point spread on the game, so I had Indiana plus 6.5. So who won that?
He won. I said if Kevin Love gives us 20, it would be a blowout.
Right.
And it would have been a blowout. Kevin Love is your second best player, and he's averaging 11 points. Lance Stevenson is what? The 5th or 6th best player?
But wait,
and
in
he's
our bet,
10.5.
wait, in our bet, I didn't give you an escape clause about Kevin Love. I mean, it's just, this was it, right? You either win or lose.
But what did I tell you
So
LeBron was going to do?
really you bet on Kevin Love is what you did.
Yeah, but what did I tell you LeBron was going to do?
You said it.
Indiana's tough. I don't think they're blowing them out. I think these games will be close. I think they'll be competitive.
Well, if Kevin Love only
LeBron
going to score
said
11
they-
points, it's going to be close.
I think you're saying
give
it's
up.
going 7,
I
right?
think it's going 7.
Nope,
I think
it's over.
I think
6.
Uh-oh,
What do you
somebody
want
might
on
lose
Friday?
another case.
Oladipo's going to come through in this game.
Rod, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
No mercy.
The Thunder entered last night's game down 3-1 to the Jazz, and then they were down by 25 points in the third quarter. But then Russell Westbrook went off. He scored 20 of his 45 points in the third quarter to lead a huge comeback by the Thunder. Paul George added 34 points, and OKC is now down 3-2 with Game 6 tomorrow in Utah. Let's take a listen to Westbrook on the comeback.
It's very, very important, especially to win to go home, regardless of what's going on throughout the game. You always gotta give yourselves a chance to win. I thought our guys did a good job of that tonight. Our team did an amazing job of sticking together and coming out with the win.
Skip, were you surprised by the comeback?
I was all-time shocked by that comeback. I thought the Thunder I had picked were done at halftime when they trailed 56-41 to a team that had won 32 of its last 39 games, a team that looked vastly superior to the Oklahoma City Thunder, whose offense had degenerated right on cue into 3 disconnected solo acts. Is it your turn or my turn to shoot another forced-up shot? Oh, why don't you shoot a 4-shot, and then I'll shoot a 4-shot. So, with 8:34 left in the third quarter, somebody named Jay Crowder hit his 6th three-point shot of the night. Do you remember Jay Crowder, Shannon Sharpe?
I do.
He's an ex-Cavalier. I think LeBron had no use for him, and I immediately tweeted, maybe LeBron is starting to miss Jay Crowder and Dwayne Wade at this point. But Jay Crowder hit his 6th three, and that made it 71-46, and Billy Donovan called an angry timeout, and I was about ready to say, I'm going to cash it in for the night. I'm just going to go to sleep. Maybe I'll get 5 hours instead of 4 hours of sleep. And guess what? A Russell Westbrook, who at that point was 3 for 16 in this series from the three-point line, that's a grand total of 19%, he finally made a 3. Okay, no big deal. And 30 seconds later, he made another 3. And then a couple of minutes later, he made another 3. And he finally made his 4th 3 of just that third quarter, and it tied the game. They went on a 32-7 run, and I must give credit to a guy who's not George Paul today. He is Paul George. That's the new sidekick. That's the better Oladipo for Russell Westbrook. That was playoff P, because he was special P in that third quarter. And Russell Westbrook, the all-time warrior that he is, he just willed his team in front of the home crowd right back into that game. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that on degree of difficulty against a team that was dominating you, and all of a sudden, it was reeling right before your very eyes. Utah looked inept because Russ shot them right in the heart. Took their hearts on that night. We'll see if they can have some open heart surgery before Friday night. We'll see how that goes. But in the end, it was a do-or-die win for the Thunder, and they live thanks mostly to Russell Westbrook just saying, not in my house.
I see your shock, and I'll raise your 2 shocks. I'm extremely, very, very shocked that they were able to do this.
Okay.
We just saw last year, James Harden is still trying to dig out from a game similar to this. Remember what happened with San Antonio without Kawhi? In James Harden's building. Yep. James Harden is still trying to get out from under that avalanche.
He is.
If Russell Westbrook had lost this game in the fashion that it looked like they were going to lose, Russell Westbrook next year would be still trying to dig out of this onslaught. For them to come back because they show no, what would ever make you think after watching these last 3 games, what would have ever made you think that they had that in them to come back?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. But Russ got going. But even when Russ got going, he needed somebody to come along with him. Carmelo, I don't know what Carmelo lunching. Yeah. I don't know what Carmelo got going on, Skip.
You know, for the most part of this run, Carmelo was on the bench.
Yes.
Carmelo was on the bench.
Yes.
Yikes. Jeremy Grant was in the game.
And Paul George got it going. Because then in the fourth quarter, Russ turns it over to Paul George. Paul George starts bringing the ball up. Let me get some of this, Russ. Yep. And what happened was Donovan Mitchell, I know he's young, but he's their scorer. And for him to try to guard Russell on one end and then try to come back and get buckets on the other, Skip, you're asking an awful lot. I know he's 21, but, Skip, that's a lot of energy you got to expel to try to guard that guy.
And to be fair, we do need to acknowledge the elephant in the room, who was the 7'1" elephant on the bench. Rudy Gobert got in huge foul trouble during this third quarter stretch. Yep. He got his 3rd foul with 11:03 left in the third, and then he gets his 4th foul with 9:23 left, and then he gets his 5th foul with 3:46 left in the third quarter, and he's gone for effectively another quarter until mid-4th quarter. Yep. And again, Russ was still doing most of his damage from the three-point line, which is not characteristic of him. But once no Gobert is there, the floodgates open to the rim. And all of a sudden, especially Paul George,
yeah, he's like,
no more
it's like a layup line.
Yep. And yet, at the end, Donovan Mitchell, and you know how much I love Donovan Mitchell, as he walked off the floor, he yelled to some of the heckling Thunder fans, "We'll see you next year." That means
we ain't coming back for Game 7.
Game 7.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We not.
So now that those words left Donovan Mitchell's lips, I'm wondering if they will be to the Thunder what Russ said about Rubio was to the Jazz for Game 5 in Utah. Will that somehow ignite and motivate the Thunder going back to Utah? It might.
The question is, Skip, do you feel more comfortable if they're, let's just say for the sake of argument, there is a Game 7. Do you feel more comfortable with Utah winning a Game 7 on OKC's floor or OKC winning Game 6 on Utah's floor?
Well, obviously, I picked the Thunder, so I need them both. Right? I mean, I don't care.
But I don't think they're coming back for Game 7 either. Okay. I don't believe.
Well, the odds are certainly in your favor if Gobert just stays eligible. If he doesn't get 5 fouls in the third quarter.
And the thing is, I'm trying to figure out how he's getting all these fouls. Skip. Steven Adams had 6 points.
Yeah.
And 6 rebounds.
Okay, I know. Melo drew the first foul, so we got to give Melo credit for that. That was the third foul in the third quarter, and then Paul George got the second one, and then
he hooked Sabrinas.
So it was an offensive foul. So Russ didn't get any of the draw any of the fouls on Gobert.
But Russ played well, but he gets like this. He gets phonetics. But think about it now. He only scored 6 more points than shots he took. He took 39. Let that sink in. He took 39 shots.
He did.
I know a guy had 44 points on 24 shots. But, George, that's none of my business. I don't even know why I brought it up.
But Russ only took 6 free throws and made all 6. LeBron got 15 free throws.
Fitting.
That referee loved them some LeBron last night, didn't they?
I guarantee you.
They protected him. They protected Kyle Korver. They protected the goaltender.
If that was James Harden, he'd have had 23 free throws.
Maybe. I'll give you that on James. But look, Russ only had 6 free throws. So
LeBron ain't only made 1 3. And he ain't take up no 39 shots.
Nope.
Imagine if he took 39 shots, how many points he'd had? What you think, it skipped 70?
Okay, the truth is, if I just showed you this box score and you didn't know what had happened, you'd say the Jazz won this game. But what you don't know is that the Thunder went on a 32-7 run in the third quarter. And you don't know that the Thunder won the second half 66-43. Well, the stats are skewed because they were so bad for a half, and then they were so great, they kind of balance out. But it looks bad that he took 39 shots because in the first half, he was awful.
Yeah, it happens. But, hey, give him credit. But I tend to agree with Donovan Mitchell.
Okay. Well, I hope Russ is watching right now, and I think he might be.
Can I get some due on that?
And I hope Paul George is watching.
Can I get – no. Oh, now you want to call the man by his name.
Paul George.
No, call him what he is, Skip.
P. He's playoff P. I love this man.
No, I don't want to be disrespectful, Joe. I don't want to come off as disrespectful. Yeah. But he is a complimentary superstar.
Well, he is that.
Oh, I hope
you think he's better than Russell Westbrook?
No, that's not what we're arguing. You called the man George Paul. You called him complimentary. Now you want him to come up short big for you.
We don't have him as your solo star up against the beast of the East, LeBron James. Don't do that.
I mean, you do remember.
Yeah.
Harden, Russ, KD, Serge Ibaka. Bron took them all down.
Yeah.
Put them over, had them all.
Yeah.
Sitting on his knee, spanking him.
I'm starting to feel sorry for Bron because I'm fearing that he is going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals against the new beasts of the East.
Stop.
Sixers.
Stop.
Whew.
Stop.
Or should I call them the 78ers? They hung 78 on LeBron in the first half. 78?
And still on
the Philadelphia 78ers.
Hung 78 and won by 2.
Huh. Interesting.
Now, you're talking about LeBron.
Because of what? How did they?
It would have been overtime.
Wait,
there was no pressure. There was no pressure, remember?
There's pressure.
There's only pressure to win the game.
LeBron had to make 3 free throws just to get to overtime. That's pressure.
No.
That's excruciating.
No.
That's do or die.
You just told me there was no pressure on LeBron taking that 3 because at worst case scenario, they go into overtime.
Okay, but that game wasn't tied. They were down 3. If the game had been tied and LeBron had 3 free throws to make 1 to win, okay.
I know he's capable of that. I knew this kind of...
I think he'd do that.
Do what?
He'd make 1 out of 3 to win the game.
No,
but he needed to make 3 of 3 to tie the game to send it to overtime. And predictably, LeBrick.
What I try not to do is I really try not to go too far backwards because I'm really trying to move ahead, Joy. And if you keep going back.
So, Joy, we went all the way back to Craig Elo. That's how far back we went. Craig Elo?
I mean, how many times LeBron got to hit a shot or walk off?
Huh?
I mean,
how many times?
You told me
we're about to do that.
No, you told me, this is what you told me, Skip. You told me if there's time on the clock, it's not a walk-off. The man, there's no time. On this shot, he did one against the Joy, you remember that one against the Pacers in 2013?
It was a layup. It was a layup.
So they don't count those as shots?
Yeah. And by the way, most of his points last night were just layups.
What? See?
Well, they were just layups.
I told you
am I right?
What I said, I know you.
Am I right?
I know you. I knew what you was going to do.
But Nate McMillan's just saying, you know what? Put anybody on him. Let him shoot layups. It was a layup drill. So he got 44 mostly on layups.
And guess what Nate
made 2 shots outside.
And guess what Nate's going to be saying Friday night?
Yeah.
We had a great season. That's an all-time great player over there. They deserve to win. That's what he's going to be saying on Friday night. Ain't no Mike.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, I don't need to see. I foretold.
No,
you foretold of this?
What you foretold of a blowout last night?
Well, I said it would be a blowout if Kevin Love gave me 20. That's what I said.
Oh, so you hinged it on poor Kevin Love.
Now he's poor Kevin. Skip.
You know who doesn't have any help? Lance Stevenson. He needs some help. He didn't get any help from Oladipo or Collison or anybody else.
You do know JR. How many points? Skip, can you tell me how many JR had? Now, I played 0 minutes, and he and I had the same amount of points.
Really? Huh.
33 minutes gave you 0. Kevin Love, how many minutes Kevin Love played? Kevin Love played almost 38 minutes. 2 of 11, had 11 points. What am I supposed to do with that, Skip?
Help me out. Victor Oladipo played 40 minutes. How many points did he have?
12, which was more than Kevin Love.
But what did he shoot from the field?
2 for 15.
2 for 15.
Darren Collison had 4 more points than JR.
Oh, okay. Well, that's 4 total.
Oh, yeah, more than JR.
Yeah.
So those two outscored Kevin Love and JR.
Well, either way, Friday night is big night.
No mercy.
Hey everyone, Joy Taylor here, and before the show moves along, I want to tell you about an exciting new show. It's called the Fox Sports Daily Brief, available only on Facebook Watch. We all know everyone is busy, but the Fox Sports Daily Brief takes the biggest stories in the world of sports and delivers them to you in one video on Facebook. It's all you need to know about sports from the biggest stars at Fox Sports. So log on to Facebook and search Fox Sports Daily Brief and look for new episodes weekdays. Now back to the show.
No mercy.
Josh Allen could go #1 in the first round of tonight's NFL draft, but there is a new controversy surrounding the quarterback. Yesterday, Allen apologized for offensive tweets from when he was in high school. He used the N-word several times and responded to a question by tweeting, "If it ain't white, it ain't right." Yesterday, he apologized, saying he was, quote, "young and dumb." Shannon, would this discourage you from drafting Allen?
It was as a negative. It's a red flag. But what you have to understand is that anybody that's going to bring this young man into their locker room, Skip, the dynamic is what? 65, 70% of the participants are African-American. Now, they're going to be looking at him side-eyed. They're going to like, hold on, so you think because you white, you right.
That's what people think.
Forget the N-word because he's throwing that around like it ain't nothing, like he Tupac, like he rapping, like he Eminem. He throwing that word around like it ain't nothing. But the one that they're really looking at him side-eyed, if it ain't white, it ain't right.
I circled it. That's
Really, dude?
What?
What I told you, my grandmother told me that. She said, boy, there's 3 people that tell you the truth. Kids, drunks, and angry people. Yeah. Now, which one of those was Josh Allen? They say he did this when he was in high school.
16-ish.
So he a kid.
Yeah, okay.
So he a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Skip, because here's the problem, is that you're talking about this guy being the face of your franchise. You can scrub it all you want to. You can apologize.
Remember, according to the reports, the Browns are weighing Baker Mayfield or Josh Allen.
Right.
So Josh Allen could be the first pick in the draft, right?
Yes. And he's the face of your franchise. And 65, 70% of your franchise that take the field are African Americans. Now, they're going to be walking by this young man looking at him side-eyed. Now, he's going to try to do things to get them all together, Skip. Come over to the house, have a barbecue. Let's go bowling. Let's go to a movie. Let's do a hang. And they're going to be looking at him like, are you for real, or you trying to play down what you said 4 or 5 years ago?
Yep.
Which is which? I don't know. Cleveland Browns or whomever bring this guy in their locker room, they better think long and hard.
Agreed.
Because I'm going to tell you how the guy, having been in the locker room, we hear everything, we know everything before you set foot in that locker room. So when you say whatever you said, we need to know why.
Seeds of doubt have been planted.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So allow me to say something I've said many times on national TV in the past. Allow me to say once again to the white kids out there who love rap, just because a black rapper in his lyrics uses the N-word ending in A does not mean that you get to rap those lyrics out loud or use that N-word ending in A in conversation to your white friends even.
Exactly.
The great Michael Eric Dyson, I have quoted many times in things I have written and said on television, says, when can a white person use that word? Never, ever. Never, ever.
No.
It's over. Don't do it. And I have so many friends who have kids who love Lil Wayne, our guy, and I tell all of them, you can't use that language.
No.
It does not work. And please don't use that in the hearing of another black person.
Exactly.
And yet, Lil Wayne has told me he's done full concerts where he's looked in his whole audience and he can't find a black face in the whole, it's all white.
Yeah.
So white kids love,
And
they
they
love
recite
Lil Wayne.
every word he say, they recite it right along with it.
They can go right along, but I'm even saying at the concert, just don't do it. It's just not right. And here we have this kid at age 16, and he grew up on a farm. You can relate to that much, but you were in rural South Georgia. And this farm was about 40 miles west of Fresno, California, in that Central Valley, a town called Fireball. And that is, let me say, cowboy country. And I don't mean Dallas cowboy country. I mean lowercase cowboy country.
Agriculture is a staple.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know what his mindset is, but this would give me pause. If I were even thinking about taking him with the first overall pick, I would say, man, if it ain't white, it ain't right. That has all kinds of modern day connotations.
Yeah, because
groups.
So, cause you white, you right, huh? So it don't matter what you do, but because of you of that complexion, everything's all good. Everything good with you, huh? And we see so much of that going on now. Cleveland, you better think long and hard. And you need to make sure you have the right makeup in your locker room to be able to handle a situation, because guys are gonna ask him about this. Bro, what you meant by that? Because all I know is what you said. For me, really? Look, Skip, I get it. I was a kid once. And I know sometimes when you're with your friends, you say things that maybe you wouldn't say around another race of people.
Yep.
But to say it when it can be heard, or to say it where it can be captured and written down, but ain't somebody wrote it down. You tweeted this out. And you thought this was cool. Okay, maybe it was maybe where he's from, small town. Hey, maybe that's cool. But bruh, in today's time, anybody that's 8 years old right now, if you ever thinking about doing something where you might become a public figure, be it an athlete, a politician, or someone that we know, don't do it.
So Dante DiVincenzo, wasn't he the
most
MOP?
outstanding,
Most outstanding for the Villanova Wildcats, the NCAA Final Four, had a series of these type of tweets just using the N-word ending in A in high school. But they came out after he had won the MOP, and nobody at this point is considering Dante as the face of a franchise.
Right.
I think he can play pro basketball. We talked about that, but that's still a ways away. This is the eve of the National Football League draft.
Remind you of something else. You remember Laramie Tunsil? Now, he was really projected to thought of as being a top 4 pick.
He was.
Now, all of a sudden, the Instagram comes out of him with a bomb. And now, all of a sudden, he lands in the Dolphins' lap. Now, he's been a very good player for the Dolphins. The timing is not an accident in this, Skip. So if you're thinking that this is an accident, this is not an accident, because if they wanted to, DiVincenzo, they had it, but they waited till after the fact. And I'm not so sure, had they not won that game, this would have ever made the light of day.
You're probably right.
I think DiVincenzo probably hit the spotlight. I mean,
Yes.
he's not the star of Villanova. I think that propelled them.
They released. But if he had let's just say he had 5 points.
Right.
And
we would never find out about it.
But Josh Allen, like you said, he's being thought of as the #1 overall pick.
Yep.
And so now on the eve of this comes out now. Not at the combine.
Yep.
Not during his well, I think it's junior year, but now. That's not an accident. It still doesn't excuse what he did.
Nope.
So people don't get caught. Well, why would somebody I wonder who did it. That's not important. Who did it or why they did it. The fact of the matter is he said it. And he's going to have to, there are going to be some guys in that locker room that want to talk to him about his comments.
So I'm going to say this one more time about Josh Allen on the field. I had my cause to pause, my doubts already about him just as a quarterback.
Yeah.
I watched him 4 different times. I watched at Iowa early. I watched at Boise State. I watched Oregon. I watched the first half of the Senior Bowl when he played most of the first half. I just didn't love it. Not that accurate, not that poised, doesn't have a great feel for the game, but obviously he's got all the measurables. He can throw it 80 yards, and he can throw it through a brick wall.
6'4.5", 240 pounds.
Okay.
So the physical, that's what we're looking at. So what are we going to do about this tape? I thought tape mattered. What does the tape say? The tape says he's like average. But the physical trait says he's John Elway.
That is correct. And speaking of John Elway, let's say Cleveland doesn't take him, maybe because of this. Maybe this is the one little straw that breaks it. Then he falls. Would the Giants take him? Then
Jets.
Then John Elway. I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this will be the reason that everybody cringes and says, I don't think we can do that. We can't risk it.
So that means your boy Baker is going #1, huh?
Could be. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Y'all quarterbacks don't do very well in the NFL.
That is a fact.
Now, Billy Sims had a nice career going until he tore that knee up. He was going to be special.
Yeah. Adrian Peterson did okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to go out of the quarterback position.
You're
right. No,
y'all had a couple of D linemen that played well.
Sam Bradford had a couple of moments, but they're just a couple before he got hurt, right?
But you already know. You see what you ended that with? Hurt. You already know how it's going to end.
No.
He'll throw about 5 or 6 touchdowns in the first 3 games.
And a couple of dollars.
No mercy.
Baker Mayfield went in the Wayback Machine to recreate the classic 1991 NFL Draft photo of Brett Favre. Mayfield nailed everything, including the jean shorts. The 2018 draft is about 9 hours away, and Mayfield is among a group of quarterbacks, including Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, and Josh Rosen, that could go in the top 10. So, Shannon, where will the top 4 quarterbacks go?
I know there's been much speculation, so I'm going to speculate myself, Skip.
Do it.
I'm going to take Sam Darnold going to the Browns.
All right.
I'm going to say Rosen goes to the Jets.
All right.
I'm going to say Mayfield goes 11 to the Dolphins, and Allen 12 to the Bills.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I think Darnold to the Browns makes the most sense because he has the least red flags as far as off the field. You know, we know what Baker Mayfield has done. Now we're finding out about the tweets that Josh Rosen had when he was in high school.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen had when he was in high school. And so when you go in #1 overall, all these guys are going to be expected to be faces of the franchises. But Skip, when you go in #1 overall, that's a different ball game than saying going #3 overall or #15 overall. That's hey.
Yep.
So I think with that being said, I like Darnold #1 to the Browns.
So, I have been saying for weeks on the show, do not be surprised if the Cleveland Browns take Baker Mayfield #1 overall. And I have said many times, if Hugh Jackson has a large amount of input into this decision with obviously the new GM John Dorsey, the owner Jimmy Haslam, I just have a gut feeling that Hugh Jackson would lean Baker. I think they all have issues with Baker, and now I have another issue with Baker. This Brett Favre memorial picture that they went way out of their way to reconstruct.
Yeah, to get everything nailed down.
Wait, the mom went out and bought wallpaper to look like the paneling, the wood paneling on Brett's wall. So Baker is saying, look, everybody, I'm Brett Favre. You like that?
No.
I don't love it. I just don't love it.
Does he know some of the problems that Brett had off the
Probably
field?
not. And by the way, does he know how great Brett Favre? Because he was pretty great. Your brother could attest to that, right?
Remember what led Brett to get traded out of Atlanta?
He had big issues.
Yeah, Baker. Do you know? And there's an issue that he went to get help for.
He did.
Baker, do you understand? See, I think he's saying, well, I'm Brett Favre on the field. I'll take risk and I'm going to be great and play 20 years, all that.
Very good point.
But
because the reason I think that Green Bay, quote unquote, stole Brett from the Falcons.
Absolutely.
He had some big alcohol issues to start with, and then he had some pain medication issues that he needed help for,
well,
right?
Put it like this here. He spent more time in Buckhead than he did up in Swanee.
He did. Well said. And Swanee is where the training
used to be. It's in Flowery Branch now. But, Skip, why? Why?
I don't know. So if you draft Baker Mayfield, this is what you're going to get. You're going to have to put up with that. He's going to plant flags. He might grab his crotch. And you just hope he doesn't get arrested for public intoxication. You just hope he doesn't go full-on Johnny Manziel and go completely over the edge as Johnny did from alcohol to drugs as a Cleveland Brown. So is it possible the Cleveland Browns would risk taking the next Johnny Manziel after they flamed out so ingloriously with the real Johnny Manziel? Is it possible? I'm going to say they close their eyes and go there because for all this, all the red flags, I'm telling you, he was the best performer of these quarterbacks. I can just show you the numbers. He's got a big arm, nice, not a huge arm, but a good arm. Can throw the deep ball. High football IQ, operated a very complex Lincoln Riley offense at Oklahoma, and put up the top QBR in college football total QBR the last 2 full football seasons. 41 touchdowns last year to only 6 interceptions. And I keep calling him a careful risk taker on the field. He tries things where I say, uh-oh, that's an interception, and then he manages not to throw the interception. He knows where to miss the gamble. Okay, so I think he can play. Charlie Weiss, remember, day after the national semifinal, the loss to Georgia, double overtime. Charlie Weiss sat right there and said, I want that kid, Baker Mayfield, because he has things I can't teach. Whatever that spark is, that competitiveness, that chip on the shoulder. He's always had a chip on. He walked on twice.
The thing is, Skip, all these guys have flags. Have some, whether there's turnovers, whether it's, intellectually being challenged or how he takes the coaching or issues off the field. So everybody has the issues. Basically, you put on a blindfold, they spin you around, and whichever one you touch, he's coming.
Okay. So I'm going Baker #1 to Cleveland, and I'm going Saquon #2 to the New York Giants. And I don't love him either because I dare anybody to go put the tape in at Ohio State, at Michigan State, back-to-back, and tell me what you see, because you're not going to see a whole lot except he returned the opening kickoff at Ohio State.
You believe if Baker goes 1, that the Giants would really pass on Darnold?
I just think it feels like the new regime is committed to Eli for the next 3 years. I think they're thinking Tom Brady-esque, like he can. But I didn't see it last year.
But what has he shown to make you think that?
I don't know. I saw erosion last year, but you can certainly give him a pass, so to speak, because he lost everybody. He lost Odell and he lost Brandon Marshall.
Okay, how about this here? Let's throw last year out of the way. Okay, the year before they went to the playoffs. What about the 3 previous years? How did he look?
Well, you can't do much resume. I mean, he led the league in interceptions 3 times, and he beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls, and that's it. You got to hang it on that. But he's 37 now, and I just think they're going to think Saquon is such a good kid. He's perfect. He is really high quality. We had him on the show. High caliber. You can trust him. However good he can be, he's going to be that good right away. And he will be there for you every Sunday. And there's something to be said for that. So I think they're going to try to pair him up with Eli to take some pressure. They went and got Nate Solder from the Patriots to be their left tackle. And if Odell is still a Giant, we don't know if that's going to change.
Pat Sherman said he's definitely going to be a Giant in 2018.
So guess what? That leaves in my draft here, my little mock, day before mock or day of mock. That leaves Sam Darnold going to the Jets. We got some Jets fans in our control room. I think they would love that because I don't think they quite trust Baker Mayfield. So Sam Darnold would fall to the Jets, and then the Browns get another shot, and I assume it would be Bradley Chubb because, again, it's another guy I watched a lot, and he didn't just leap off my screen. But again, he's the highest-rated player on the board, which brings us to the 5th overall pick belongs to your man John Elway. Well, Okay, so Josh Allen's sitting there. I mean, Lamar Jackson sitting there. Josh Rosen sitting there, right? Mm-hmm. Would he do any of that? Would he go? And remember, Josh Allen, for all the problems we just talked about, he looks just like John Elway, right?
Yeah.
Measurables.
Yep. Exactly. Definitely.
Prototype.
Yes.
He's Elway-esque.
And then, but minus the production in college.
Minus the production.
So all he has is the physical. He has the physical traits of John Elway.
Sort of body type.
Yes.
He looks just like John. 6'4",
235, 240.
Okay, pretty good. I say John says no to a quarterback. I say he just says, I'm going forward with Case Keenum. I'll have to figure it out next year.
Right.
And to me, I'm going to say it one time and one time only. I think the best player in this draft at a position is Roquan Smith from Georgia.
Yeah, he's
he
can fly.
He's just special.
Yeah, I like Minka Fitzpatrick also.
I do too. But Roquan against my Sooners and Baker Mayfield, he was everywhere.
Yeah,
he is a football player. He can run and hit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy you can plug in, and he's just going to be a Pro Bowl player, I think, for 10, 12 years. Okay, so that's what I would do there, which drops these quarterbacks down to Joy's team drafting 11th, the Miami Dolphins. I say they take Josh Rosen. That's my gut feeling, which leaves Josh Allen, suddenly a controversial figure, on the board. And the Buffalo Bills are still sitting at 12, and this obviously hinges on whether they would move up before the draft. I would say they would close their eyes and take Josh Allen at 12. They've got A.J. McCarron now to get them through a year or two, and they would go Josh Allen. But Josh Allen, given what we just talked about in our previous topic, he could fall through the whole first round. He could.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Got me A's.
And the wild card to all this mix is Lamar Jackson. And we're going to hit him head on here in just a second.
Skip, you guys, the Cowboys, remember you guys got Lyle Collins.
19th.
When he fell in the draft.
Well, he fell out of the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of
some unsubstantiated.
Yes. There was a lot of conjecture about his
murder.
Involvement in a murder.
And then nothing. But you just cost that man probably $15 million.
You probably did, because I think he was a top 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Jerry took a flyer on that,
Yeah.
took a risk, and that one.
Look like it's going to pay off. Look like you're going to kick him inside the guard, which is a better natural suited position for him.
Yep.
It's not a good time of year for these kids to have enemies.
Nope.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.